Hi, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Steuben County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory videocast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 96. This is the Friday, April 16th, 2022 edition of Library Connections. Kicking things off with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for this week from the New York Times. At number 1, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife, raised in a violent home, attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 2, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. In a quiet town on the North Carolina coast, back in 1969, a young woman who survived alone in the marsh becomes a murder suspect. At number 3, Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. A detective investigating in the wilderness discovers that his actions might affect the timeline of the universe. No pressure there, but I digress. Moving on to number 4, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Loan Ashley is hired by the husband of an injured writer to complete her popular series, and she uncovers a horrifying truth. And at number 5, Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. A singer-songwriter goes to Nashville seeking stardom, but is followed by her dark past. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for this week, at number 1, Bittersweet by Susan Kane. The author of Quiet suggests ways to embrace loss and suffering within ourselves and others. At number 2, Recessional by David Mamet. The Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright lambasts liberal politics, cancel culture, and other things he finds objectionable. At number 3, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. At number 4, Nowhere for Very Long by Brianna Medea. A young woman and her companions travel the deserts of the American West in an orange van. At number 5, Between Two Kingdoms by Suluka Zaud. The writer of the New York Times column Life Interrupted chronicles her fight with cancer and an impactful road trip. So road trips seem to be on the agenda for the bestsellers of this week. Our first reading recommendation for this week is the really cool new book, Origin, A Genetic History of the Americas by Jennifer Raph. When did humans first arrive in the Americas? Who were they? And where did they come from? Raph tackles these questions using anthropological genetics, which she says offers a unique view of past populations that is inaccessible by other modes of historical and archaeological research. Mitochondrial and Y chromosome sequences show the unfolding of human expansion eastward across Eurasia and then Beringia. That's the old land bridge that used to connect Russia to Alaska. Raph traces these human movements across China and Siberia and into the Americas. Several maps in the book illustrate population movements and what's known of their chronology. The book summarizes many past theories of human migration while proposing updated understandings. Raph buries unsubstantiated notions of Native American origins, including the Solutrean theory, which argues for an early European migration into North America. The author integrates her biological findings with those from linguistics and archaeology, illustrating multiple waves of immigration from Asia into the Americas. Raph discusses complex issues, but explains concepts in easy-to-understand text. Verdict: a thorough, yet conversational outlining of the peopling of the Americas that will update any anthropology or world history collection. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Moving on to our second recommended read for this week, which is cool too, although we are switching from nonfiction to mystery. This is the new Anne Hillerman mystery, The Sacred Bridge. In Hillerman's captivating seventh Leaphorn Chi and Manuelito mystery, Sergeant Jim Chi of the Navajo Nation Police, who's reevaluating his career, takes time off from his job in Shiprock, New Mexico, and heads for Lake Powell to contemplate his future. He brings with him a map provided by his mentor, Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn, showing the location of what Leaphorn believes to be a sacred cave containing a trove of ancient sand paintings. On his hike, Chi discovers the body of a young man floating face down in the icy waters of the lake. A severe head injury indicates that the victim, a Navajo, was murdered. The local police ask Chi to join their investigation. Meanwhile, Bernadette Manuelito, Chi's police officer wife, witnesses an intentional hit and run, a crime that leads her to take on a dangerous undercover mission. Never mind that the murder investigation is a bit slow to start, and that the bad guys are pretty obvious. As usual, what matters here is the Native American lore, dramatic descriptions of the Western terrain, and the evolution in the personal lives of Leaphorn Chi and Manuelito. Series fans will be well satisfied, and that's the Publishers Weekly Review. On a reader's note, as mentioned, this is the seventh book in the Leaphorn Chi and Manuelito series. If you'd like to start reading this series from the beginning, check out book 1, which is called The Spider Woman's Daughter. And on a second reader's note, as you may know, Anne Hillerman is the daughter of the late mystery writer Tony Hillerman and has continued his beloved series. If you'd like to go way back and start reading the books in the Leaphorn Chi and later Manuelito universe, check out the very first book in Tony Hillerman's original series, 1970's The Blessing Way. Moving on to our first audiobook recommendation for this week, I'm going to recommend the new Simon McCleave mystery, An Imitation of Darkness. London. Ah, yes, and I didn't mention, the audio is read by Rachel Atkins. And yes, indeed, it is set in London in 1998. A murdered young actress, a predatory American film producer, DC Ruth Hunter and her partner DC Lucy Henry find themselves embroiled in the dark and sleazy side of the entertainment business, where it's more than looks that kill. Ruth and Lucy are called to the brutal killing of a young actress, and it seems that her murder might be connected to a cover-up of serious sexual misconduct in London's film industry. However, when the investigation is thwarted at every turn, they begin to wonder if they will ever solve the case. When a lucky break turns their attention to a man suspected of stalking the actress, Ruth and Lucy think that they now have the prime suspect in their sights. With the clock ticking, Will they be able to collect enough evidence to charge the man before he escapes abroad? That is the question. We'll have to listen to the audio or read the book to find out. And on a reader's note, this is the third book in the DC Ruth Hunter murder case series. DC stands for Detective Constable. If you'd like to start reading or listening from the beginning, check out the first book, which is called Diary of a War Crime. And on a second reader's note, if you're in the mood to binge read, there is a previous series featuring Ruth Hunter, which is actually set in the future for the character, the DI, that is Detective Inspector series, which starts out with the novel The Snowdonna Killings. Moving on to our second audiobook recommendation for this week, it's the new Diane Wilson novel, The Seed Keeper. The audio is read by Kyla Garcia. Memoirist Diane Wilson's first novel celebrates the role of Dakota women who kept their seeds and culture alive across generations. Narrator Garcia portrays 4 generations of women who preserve seeds and stories. She brings Rosalie Ironwing to life as she struggles to overcome her past as a foster child, live as the wife of a white farmer, and search for her family and her history. Rosalie speaks deliberately, remembering her father's life lessons. Her friend Gabby makes peace, has a strong voice, and is confident in her mission to save the rivers. Great Aunt Darlene Kills Deer has the husky voice of an elderly woman and is determined to pass on the seeds and the history, ensuring that both will continue to live for the next generation. And that's the audiophile review. Moving on to our first streaming recommendation for this week, it's the new mystery series Anika, which stars Nicola Walker and which you can stream from PBS starting on Sunday, April 17th. And that name, Anika, if you're a Star Trek fan like me, I keep thinking of Seven of Nine from Star Trek Voyager, and now Picard, because of course her real first name is Anika. So maybe you watch an episode of Anika and then you go watch an episode of Voyager or Picard. But I'm digressing. Getting back to the first season of Anika. Anika features the main character who is a sharp, witty, and enigmatic DI, and she heads up a new specialist marine homicide unit that is tasked with investigating the unexplained, brutal, and seemingly unfathomable murders. A new masterpiece mystery series starring Nicola Walker, who has previously given great performances in Last Tango in Halifax and The Unforgotten, among other series. So this one should be a keeper, definitely, starting this Sunday on PBS. Our second streaming recommendation for this week is the new Netflix docuseries, Our Great National Parks. This series is an epic 5-part series narrated by President Barack Obama that invites viewers to celebrate and discover the power of our planet's greatest national parks and wild spaces. President Obama plus Environment docuseries equals Our Eyes and Ears, but a little more context is helpful here. Our National Parks is the latest project to stem from Netflix's partnership with Higher Ground Productions, the company founded by Barack and Michelle Obama. Past releases are already impressive. The Becoming documentary scored 4 Emmy nominations. Crimp Camp was nominated for a Best Documentary Oscar, and American Factory won it. Then there's Waffles and Moochie, aka the best children's show since Sesame Street. Higher Ground Productions has so far lived up to the lofty expectations set by its founders, And our great national parks looks to continue this streak. Visiting Monterey Bay in California, as well as Chile, Kenya, Indonesia, and more, this series looks to continue President Obama's mission to protect public lands and waters by inviting the world to appreciate them anew. And that is the IndieWire review. And our third streaming recommendation for this week is actually 2 seasons of a series. It's Russian Doll, season 1 of which is available now and has been for a while. It came out in 2019, and then season 2 was delayed by the pandemic, but will be out on April 20th. This series stars Natasha Lyonne, Charlie Barnett, and Greta Lee, and it is a Netflix original series. The long-awaited second season of the cult favorite Time Loop series drops on April 20th. If you haven't watched the first season, you're really in for a mind spin. It's déjà vu at its best. A game developer finds herself trapped in an ongoing time loop where she repeatedly dies, in different ways, and relives the same night. She eventually meets a man who is experiencing the same thing in a different event, and they collectively attempt to find meaning in the outward pointlessness of their existence. This does have some humor in it. So Russian Doll Season 1 is available now, and Season 2 is coming April 20th. Our Hoopla recommendation for this week is actually a new album. I don't usually recommend music. I'm not sure why. I think I get into the streaming mode, but Hoopla does have music. So I'm going to recommend the new Michael Bublé album, Higher, which features 13 songs, classic vocal music. If you're in the mood for classic vocal music, check out Higher by Michael Bublé on Hoopla. Moving on to our next section, next week at the library, a listing of events and activities that you can enjoy through the library for the week ahead of us. You can also find this information online if you go to the library's website, found at ssclibrary.org, and click on the big calendar link found on our homepage. And just a beginning note, registration is required for programs unless otherwise specified, or unless something is on Facebook Live or YouTube, in which case just jump on Facebook or YouTube and you'll be all set. On Monday, April 18th, we have one program in Library Land. That is the monthly Crafting with Kimberly, which is from 5 to 7 p.m. The location of the program is online. And just a note, you must register for this program and pick up the free crafting kit prior to the start of the program on Monday, April 18th, so you can actually make the craft right along with Kimberly. On Tuesday, April 19th, we have quite a few events in Library Land. There are 5 of them, starting out with Adult Scrabble from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Scrabble is held in the library's reading room. Then at 9:15 to 10:15 a.m., we have Coffee, Tea, and English online vocabulary. The location is Zoom, so you need to register to get the Zoom link. Then from 10 to 10:30 a.m., we have the very popular Miss Sue's online story time. The location is the Southeast Steuben County Library's Facebook page. Our 4th program of the day runs from 10:30 to 11 a.m., and it's Coffee, Tea, and English online conversation, another Zoom program. And finally, from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, April 19th, we have the April drive-through STEM Crystal Trees. The location is at the library and at home, and I'll explain that in just a second. Let me tell you about this craft and program. With gardens blooming and trees budding again, you can grow a crystal tree using just a few simple ingredients. When you sign up, your kit will include everything needed. Suggested for ages 3 to 10 years. Be sure to note on the sign-up form the number of children between those ages living in the household. This will be a drive-through event. Drive to the library, put down your window, give your name, we hand you your project bag, and then you create at home. It's that easy. So the 6 to 8 p.m. is actually the pickup time for the program, and then you can create at home at your convenience. Moving on to Wednesday, April 20th, we have 3 programs in Library Land, starting out with Mahjong from 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The location is at the library. Then from 6 to 8 p.m., we have the Corning Adult Writers Group. The location is hybrid, both at the library and via Zoom. You do have to register for that program. And then thirdly, we have an event which is full, but I'm going to bring it to your attention anyway because it's a fun series. It's the monthly virtual tween Baking with Miss Abby. And as I said, this event is full, but if you sign up for future events, you'll get the materials in a little packet to bake whatever the baking project is of the month, and then Miss Abby will be online showing you how to do it. So if you've got a tween in your household that likes baking, check the calendar for May and June, and register for the next program ASAP so that you get a spot. On Thursday, April 21st in Library Land, we've got one program from 10 to 11:30 a.m., Coffee, Tea, and English Book Club. The location is Zoom. Moving on Friday, April 22nd, which is indeed Earth Day, we've got 3 programs in Library Land and 2 are Earth Day related. First, from 10 to 10:30 a.m., we have Earth Day, Stories, Science, Playtime, and Planting in Fallbrook Park. And the location is, you guessed it, Fallbrook Park. This program will include both a story and a science project. Then from 1 to 1:30 p.m., we have Library Connections, a weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast, which will be available through Facebook and YouTube. And from 5 to 6:30 p.m., there's a special young adult program, Celebrate Earth Day with Pixie Moss Meadows. The young adults will be meeting at Kaylee, right next door to Pixie Moss Meadows. The location is 65 East Market Street, and the kids will be making takeaway mini succulent gardens in honor of Earth Day. All supplies will be provided. You have to register for that program, and you can do that in the usual ways by calling the library, dropping by, or through the calendar of events on the library's website. And those are the programs for the week that ends Saturday, April 23rd, 2020. And here are the library program contacts. Should you have any questions about any programs, let us know. Have questions about this weekly videocast? Let me know. You can send me an email. My email address is reimerl@stls.org. That's reimerl@stls.org. Or you can always drop by the library. Library hours, an important thing to know. The library is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we're closed on Sundays. The library's website is found at ssclibrary.org. You can find a whole host of useful information on our website. To offer you a Cliff Notes version today, I'm just going to talk about 3 sections of our homepage that will allow you to access cool stuff. The first is the link that says Calendar on our homepage. If you click that or tap it, you'll be redirected to our calendar of events, where you can register for programs and see what's going on both in the library and also the remote programming we have. If you click on the word Catalogs, a menu will open that will allow you to access all the library's catalogs for both physical content like print books and digital content like eBooks. And then if you click on the Resources menu link, seen at the top of the page there, also bordered in red, a menu will open. And you can do a bunch of stuff through that menu. You can register to vote. You can access anti-racism resources. But today I want to direct you to the Research and Learning page on our website. So that's the third option on the Resources menu, Research and Learning. And if you click or tap that, the Research and Learning page will display. And this lists some of the most popular databases that we offer, otherwise known as online research resources, but I find that a mouthful. So basically these are credible research resources, which I'm going to refer to as databases from now on. And these are available to you as a card holder, but they're not free to everyone everywhere. You get them as a card holder, but the library and/or the library system pays for these. And through our website, through the research and learning page on our website, you find some of the most popular ones you can access, including Mango Languages, if you want to learn another language, even pirate, and the Heritage Quest resource or database, and that's for genealogical research. And those are great resources. And if you're going to do really in-depth research, though, you want to go all the way down to the bottom of the page. In the last little paragraph there, it says, would you like to find more databases and resources? And then below that little paragraph in purple, it says, find the complete list of STLS databases here. That's the link you want to click on if you're doing in-depth research. It's going to redirect you to the databases page on the STLS website. And you see a photo of the top portion of that page on the right side of your screen. So here we see a large portion of the list of databases that you can access for in-depth research on tons of topics: criminal justice, the culinary arts, diversity, gender studies. There's a health database. If you want to do health research, there's one on opposing viewpoints. If you have to write a paper on a subject that has two sides to the story, which is usually the case, you can look at that. There are several academic resources if you're a college or high school student doing research. There's even one on gardening and landscaping, on the hospitality industry, and a home improvement collection too. So lots of stuff on the STLS databases page, which you can access through our website, or you can go directly to that page by typing www.stls.org/databases into your web browser. Starcat and the BookMine app. Starcat is the catalog of physical library materials available to all card holders of the public libraries in the Southern Tier Library System, otherwise known as STLS. STLS encompasses the public libraries in Steuben, Chemung, Yates, Schuyler, and Allegheny counties. You can access Starcat online at starcat.stls.org. That's starcat.stls.org. Or, as you might imagine, there's an app for that. It's called BookMine, and it's spelled a little differently. It's BookMyne, and that will give you direct access to Starcat through your mobile device, and you can find the BookMine app in your app store. The digital catalog and its companion app Libby. The digital catalog too is available to all card holders of all Southern Tier Library System member libraries, and you can find it online at stls.overdrive.com, or you can download the Libby app found in your app store to your mobile device. The digital catalog features eBooks, audiobooks, and a handful of streaming videos. Hoopla. The Hoopla catalog features eBooks, comic books, full-length albums, downloadable audiobooks, and streaming videos, including both TV shows and movies. All Hoopla items are available for instant checkout for Southeast Steuben County Library card holders with a maximum of 6 checkouts per month. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking and watching this and you're thinking, well, why is it just for Corning Library card holders or SSC Library card holders? That's because this particular service, Hoopla, is one that the Southeast Steuben County Library pays for. The others, the digital catalog and of course Starcat, are collection-wide catalogs, and all member libraries contribute to them. So that's what the difference is. If you want to check out the Hoopla catalog online, you go to hoopladigital.com, and of course there's an app, Hoopla, for your mobile device. Social media. If you have questions about the library, you are welcome, of course, to go the traditional route and give us a call. But if you'd like to take the modern route and contact us via social media, you can do that too. The library has presences on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Library blogs. The library has 5 blogs we'd like to bring your attention to. I'm going to list them in alphabetical order. The first one is the Book Club for Adults blog, which is found at ssclbook.club, and it features, you guessed it, 2 posts per month that relate to the monthly book club for adults as compared to young adults or kids. And the second post for each month includes readers' advisory recommendations that were discussed during the meeting of the month and a general overview of the plot of the book that we read for the month. Moving along alphabetically, our second blog is the Corning NY History blog. That's our local history blog found online at corningnyhistory.com. It features weekly postings on Fridays that include photos from the library's local history archive and old newspaper articles of the week. Then we have Creation Stationery, the Makerspace blog found at creationstationery.com. There are occasional creative postings relating to the library's Makerspace and Makerspace programs. Our third blog is Story Musings, a blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells. There are regular postings offering book reviews, recipes, and more. You can find Story Musings at storymusing.blogspot.com. You can also access all the blogs through the library's website. Our fourth blog is one that yours truly hosts. It's the Tech and Book Talk blog, a readers, viewers, and listeners advisory blog found at sscltech.com. I do occasionally include helpful tech tips because I like technology, and of course we like technology in library land, but I'm digressing. Weekly postings for this blog include suggested reading, suggested listening, New York Times bestsellers, and a post of Library Connections videos the Tuesday after they first appear on Facebook and YouTube. And our fifth blog is called Teen Tones. It's the library's blog for young adults and has great information about upcoming programs and other items of interest found at teentones.com. And briefly, our references of the week and our catalog information. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great week.